first IC which we will try to understand is IC 555 timer. It's a timer IC, IC 555 timer. For each of this IC we should know the pin configuration. We should know the pin configuration. When I say pin configuration, it means how many pins that IC chip has and what are the function of each of that pin, because to work that IC we need external power supply. So we should know which pin should be given positive supply, which should be given as negative supply. Then we should know which are the pins which are input, which are the pins which are output. So this is nothing but the understanding of each function of each pin of that particular IC, which will be called as pin configuration. Okay, then for IC 555 timer we will try to understand the internal diagram, which is also called as schematic diagram, and it is very important with respect to your exam. This question has been asked several times in your exam for 4 marks. So we will try to understand and try to understand how to write the explanation part of that particular circuit, okay, in the next coming videos. So that is internal diagram, that is schematic diagram, and then applications of IC 555 timer. Okay, so the first application which we will try to understand is monostable multi vibrator. That means 555 timer will be used as monostable multi vibrator. Monostable means a digital circuit where the output is always 0. Okay, the output is always 0. When you give trigger input, the output will become 1 for a small duration of time, and automatically it will come back to its initial condition, that is 0. Okay, so this one, the state where the output has changed from 0 to 1 and come back, this is called as quasi-stable state or temporary state, because after some duration of time without giving trigger, the output will come back to its initial position, that is 0. So it has only one stable state. When you give external triggering for a small moment of time, it will become 1 and again it will become 0. That is why it is called as monostable. Mono means single. Okay, so mostly this type of circuit is used to provide a trigger pulse. The second one is a stable multi-vibrator. A stable multi-vibrator. In a stable multi-vibrator, you don't have to give trigger pulse. Okay, the output will be continuously changing from 0 to 1, 1 to 0, 0 to 1 in a predetermined time period. Okay, that time period we can adjust. And we can identify for how much time the output will be 0 and for how much time the output will be 1. That can be adjusted. So 0 1 0 1, it will be continuously changing its position. All these things I have told you earlier when I taught you chapter number 5, that is sequential circuit. Sequential circuit, to design sequential circuit, the basic circuit requirement is bistable multi-vibrator, and that time I have told you what is monostable as well as astable multi-vibrator. In bistable multi-vibrator, what we have to do is the state will be 0. When we give trigger, the output will become 1 and it will remain 1. When you give trigger, only then the output will change from 1 to 0. So it has two stable states, 0 as well as 1. Unless and until trigger is given, the state will not change. But in case of monostable, the state will be 0. When you provide trigger, the output will become 1 for a small duration of time and it will automatically come back to 0. That is why this is a temporary state and the stable state is 0. Only one single stable state is there, therefore it is called as monostable multi-vibrator. And astable multi-vibrator, there you don't have to give trigger, the output will keep on becoming 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, So bistable multivibrators are used to design flip-flops. Monostable multivibrator are used to give trigger, and astable multivibrators are used as clock pulse, which we have studied in the applications of flip-flops, that is counters and shift registers. So the same clock pulse will be designed using a stable multivibrator. So these are the two applications of IC 555 timer. Apart from that, there is modulation technique. The two applications are pulse amplitude modulation and frequency shift keying. Okay, PAM and FSK. PAM stands for pulse amplitude modulation and FSK stands for frequency shift keying. Of course, first we have to understand what exactly we mean by modulation and demodulation. These words or these terminologies are used when we try to understand communication. Okay, I will give you a simple example. Radio broadcasting. Of course, even in your phone you can listen to the songs transmitted through the radio, right? Radio signals. One of a very good example of a radio station is 93.5 megahertz. If I'm not wrong, it is for Radio Mirchi, right? This is the station name. This is the frequency 93.5 megahertz. Okay, so that means this is a transmitting frequency. Now you hear audio songs in this frequency 93.5 megahertz, but audio signals are always within the range of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and 93.5 megahertz is nowhere near to the audio frequency. Then how it is possible that you listen to audio song in that frequency 93.5 megahertz? Okay, so now I'll tell you how we listen to audio songs in 93.5 megahertz. Mega is 10 to the power 6 hertz. Okay, see what happens is, I'll give you one more example so that you can understand. If you're standing on your terrace and you try to speak loudly, or you shout at full throat, what happens is, the sound which you are going to produce, it will travel a distance of say 100 meters or 200 meters. सामने वाली बिल्डिंग तक तो जानी ही चाहिए आवाज, but what happens to the strength of the signal with respect to the distance it travels? Can you hear the same sound after 1 kilometer? No, of course not. That means the strength of the signal will keep on decreasing with the distance it travels, right? That means after 1 kilometer nobody can hear you, but within 100 meters or 200 meters you can be heard. So what happens is, the energy associated with the signal is directly proportional to the frequency. What is the frequency which we are producing? 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz audio frequency, very small frequency. So the energy associated with the signal is less, therefore the distance traveled by the signal is less. For the signal to travel a long distance, what has to be done? The frequency has to be increased, but your original signal is the audio signal. So what we do is, in the transmitter section, जब ट्रांसमिट करते हैं हम, ट्रांसमिट करने के पहले दो सिग्नल रहते हैं. एक होता है हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी विच इज द 93.5 मेगाहर्ट्ज, और एक होता है ऑडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी जिसमें गाना जो गाना हम लोग सुनने वाले हैं, जो ओरिजिनल सिग्नल है, ठीक है, 20 हर्ट्ज टू 20 किलो हर्ट्ज. ऐसे दो सिग्नल को हम मिक्स करते हैं. द प्रोसेस ऑफ मिक्सिंग दिस टू सिग्नल इज कॉल्ड एज मॉड्यूलेशन. और उसके बहुत सारे अलग अलग एप्लीकेशन के हिसाब से अलग अलग मॉड्यूलेशन टेक्निक्स है. हम दो पढ़ेंगे जो हम लोग IC 555 टाइमर यूज करके डिजाइन कर सकते हैं. दैट इज पल्स एम्पलीट्यूड मॉड्यूलेशन एंड FSK. ओके, ऑफ कोर्स हमारे फोन में डीमॉड्यूलेटर रहता है. वो क्या करेगा? सिग्नल रिसीव करता है एंड इट सेपरेट्स द टू सिग्नल्स. द 93.5 मेगाहर्ट्ज विच इज द कैरियर फ्रीक्वेंसी, जो हमारे ओरिजिनल सिग्नल को लेके जाएगा दूर तक, उसको सेपरेट कर देगा. ओरिजिनल सिग्नल जो हमारा ऑडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी है उसको अलग निकाल देगा, एम्पलीफायर को देगा, और फिर स्पीकर को दे देगा, सो दैट वी कैन हियर the audio signal. So this is what is modulation and demodulation, और उसमें का हम लोग दो टेक्निक पढ़ेंगे मॉड्यूलेशन का, पल्स एम्पलीट्यूड मॉड्यूलेशन and FSK using IC 555 timer. Okay, the first IC under the heading of integrated circuit will be, we will try to understand, is IC 555 timer. Okay, and the basic application will be monostable multivibrator or stable multivibrator. You already know monostable means only one stable state, or output will be 0. When you give external triggering, the output will become 1 for a small duration of time, and then it will again become 0. And unstable, there is no stable state. The output, you don't have to give trigger, the output will be 0 for a certain time, then it will become 1 automatically, then it will remain 1 for a small duration of time, then it will again become 0. So you don't have to give trigger, the output will be keep on changing as 0 and 1. So for triggering we use monostable and we use unstable as clock pulse, and we can design both monostable as well as unstable using IC 555 timer. Okay, so first we will try to understand the pin configuration of IC 555. The IC 555 is a 8-pin IC. Okay, so this is the basic structure of a chip, IC chip. There will be a notch on one side, and that notch has to be kept on our left hand side. Just below the notch there will be pin number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and exactly above 4 we'll have 5, then we have 6, then we will have 7, and then we will have 8. Okay, so ICs are available with different pin configurations. It can be an 8-pin IC. There are ICs where we have only say 5 pins. There are ICs where we have only 14 pins. There are IC which has 16 pins. So different configuration can be there. Here IC 555 is a 8-pin IC. So this is IC 555 timer. Okay. Now as I said, these ICs work when you give external power supply. Okay. So power supply means a positive terminal and a negative terminal. In case of IC 555, pin number 8 is plus VCC and pin number 1 is ground. Okay, pin number 1 is ground. That means positive and negative supply. And then see what are the applications which I told you about IC 555 timer. The IC 555 timer can be operated as monostable and unstable. Monostable means what happens? The output will be 0. When you give external triggering, the output will become 1, but just for small moment of time. Then automatically it will change from 1 to 0 back to its initial state, that is stable state. So there will be only one stable state, mono. Once you give trigger, थोड़ी देर के लिए output 1 होगा, फिर वापस अपने आप आके 0 पे चला जाएगा. तो वो अपने आप आने के लिए कहीं ना कहीं तो ट्रिगर होगा, right? Similarly, a stable multivibrator, you don't have to give trigger. थोड़ी देर के लिए 0, फिर थोड़ी देर के लिए 1, फिर थोड़ी देर के लिए 0, थोड़ी देर के लिए 1, ये ऐसे होते रहेगा, चेंज होते रहेगा. इसका मतलब है internally they are getting triggered. So we need 2 trigger terminals. One when the output goes from 0 to 1, and the second when the output goes from 1 to 0. So with the 2 pins of the IC 555 timer which will be used as trigger pin is pin number 2, that is called as trigger pin, and pin number 6 called as threshold pin. Okay, threshold pin. From pin number 3 we connect, we take the output. Pin number 4 is a reset terminal. When it is activated, it is active low. When it is activated, this pin is active low. When it is activated, the output will not change irrespective of whatever be the potential you are giving at the trigger terminal pin number 2 and pin number 6. Okay, pin number 5 is called as control input, and pin number 7 is called as discharge terminal. I will explain you what exactly mean by discharge terminal. Control input means there will be a fixed potential at pin number 5. Okay, so this is the pin configuration of IC 555, and you can understand it much better way when we will try to understand the internal diagram of IC 555. Okay, so let us try to understand the internal diagram or schematic diagram of IC 555 timer. Okay, now between a positive supply and ground we have connected 3 resistance. Of course, what you can see is as the resistance are connected in series, current remains same, the voltage divides, and if you apply the formula for voltage divider, the potential at these 2 points will be, what is the potential? Total voltage divided by total resistance multiplied by the resistance across which the voltage is taken. Okay, so if you are taking voltage at this point, it is between this point and ground, and there is a resistance R. So total voltage will be plus VCC, total resistance will be R plus R plus R, that is 3R, multiplied by the point at which the output is taken. This point and ground we have R, so R gets cancelled, so the potential will be plus VCC by 3. This is my reference voltage. Okay, similarly at this point again plus VCC divided by total resistance, that is 3R, multiplied by between this point and ground there is R plus R, that is 2R, so this will be 2R. RR gets cancelled, it will be plus 2 by 3 plus 2 by 3 of VCC. Okay, now these 2 voltages goes as reference voltage for my 2 comparators. Op amp में पढ़ा था comparator. Okay, so this is a comparator 1, this is comparator 2. Some book will refer it as lower comparator or upper comparator. Okay, now this terminal will be pin number 2, this terminal will be pin number 6. Okay, pin number 2 and pin number 6, and the output of this comparator goes as input to an SR flip-flop Q bar. This is Q bar. This is pin number 3, that is output, and there is a clear terminal of this flip-flop, that is pin number 4 configuration. Pin number 4, that is reset terminal. Pin number 3 is output. Pin number 2 and pin number 6 are the inputs to the comparator, which are trigger input and threshold pin. Pin number 5 is the control input, which I told you that it is a fixed voltage of plus 2 by 3 of VCC, and this there is a transistor which is connected at the output. This transistor is acting as a switch which is connected. I will call this transistor as Q1, and at the output of the flip-flop, and this terminal is called as pin number 7. I will tell you, I will explain you why it is called as a discharge pin. Okay, then power supply will be this is pin number 8, ground, this is pin number 1. Okay, now I will just apply the polarities for the comparator. This is plus, this is minus, and this is minus, this is plus. Okay, for op amp you already know that there is a non-inverting and inverting terminal, and when we use op amp as a comparator, it will be always non-inverting minus the inverting. That means for the first comparator 1, okay, comparator 1, the output I will call it as V0. Output will be plus VCC by 3 minus the potential at pin 2. Is that correct? Right? It will be always non-inverting minus the inverting, and for op-amp we use the application of op-amp where the gain is infinite. The output will be either plus VCC or minus VCC. Plus VCC means in digital it is 1, minus VCC means the output will be 0. So output will be either 0 or 1 depending upon the difference of the two input voltage. Okay, so output comparator V0 will be plus VCC3 minus potential at pin 2 multiplied by the gain factor. Okay, so multiplied by gain, which is infinite. So when the gain is infinite, the output will be either positive saturation or minus or negative saturation. Positive saturation means 1, negative saturation means 0. Okay, so when this happen, see when the output of the comparator will become 1, so हम ऐसा लिख सकते हैं कि output of comparator 1 will be equal to 1. 1 कब रहेगा? When the difference of these two will be positive. So multiplied by gain factor, it will keep on increasing in the positive direction towards positive saturation, and the output will be plus VCC. That is when we call the output as 1. So the output of the comparator 1 will be 1 when pin 2, that is potential at pin 2, is less than plus VCC by 3. Okay, so this condition is very important. Potential at pin number 2 should be less than plus VCC by 3 for the output of the comparator 1 to become 1. Otherwise the output of the comparator will be 0. Similarly, next output of the second comparator 2. Okay, comparator 2 V0 equals to, now in this case it will be pin number 6 non-inverting minus the inverting, so it will be potential at pin 6 minus what is the reference voltage at pin number 5? It will be plus 2 by 3 of VCC multiplied by gain, which is infinite as we are using it as a comparator. So output of comparator 2 will be equal to 1. कब वो पॉजिटिव सैचुरेशन की तरफ जाएगा? जब ये दोनों का डिफरेंस पॉजिटिव रहेगा. और ये दोनों का डिफरेंस पॉजिटिव कब रहेगा? व्हेन पोटेंशियल एट पिन 6 is greater than plus 2 by 3 of VCC. ठीक है, so these are the two triggering condition for IC 555 timer.